Yeah, am I not counting right? I got John, I got Tim, I got Andrew, I got you, and I got me. Am I not 5? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Tim,
5.
Andrew, John, and Kathy.
I've
I guess
got
another-
me, you. Don't forget you.
Oh, yeah, I gotta count me.
I got 2 Andrews. I got me. Am I not counting right? 1, 2, and Tim. So we got 5.
You have 5.
I have 5.
Okay, you are live.
So I'm calling the meeting to order at 5:31 of the advisory committee on June the 25th. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, chapter 30A, section 18, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Southborough Advisory Committee will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Southborough's website at www.southboroughtown.com. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to watch or participate in the meeting may do so in the following manner by finding the meeting at www.southboroughtown.com/remote meetings. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on Southborough's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. All right. So hi, everybody. So this is going to be a short meeting. So let's just jump into it. So chairman's update. So only a couple things there. As everyone now knows, Chelsea was elected to the Board of Selectmen, so she resigned immediately from advisory. So she's now part of the Board of Selectmen. And as of now, 4 of the 5 members were past advisory members. Only Lisa Braccio was not, so that bodes well. I listened to their meeting the other night, and it was a really good meeting to listen to. It was a really collaborative meeting. I think they're off to a really good start, and they are ready to start their planning for the next year. So we'll stay tuned. We're not going to do a lot tonight. We're really going to approve meetings, our minute meetings, and get those caught up. Then we'll set the calendar for the rest of the summer, and wait until the next meeting to really start planning what we're going to do. If anybody has anything to bring up, we can talk about it, but I really was going to keep this meeting at a pretty brief level. Hey, Judy. See if she could, can you hear us, Judy? Oops. So you should unmute if you want to say hi. All right. So the only other thing to add is, as everyone knows from the town meeting, the only change that was made because the meeting is the town voted to reduce the budget for Department 159, which is basically the utilities budget, because several people thought that the budget for the new building was too high compared to what the old 2 buildings totaled. So we'll see. I will say that once I started looking at it closer, it raised some more questions, which we'll get to in the next meeting. But anyway, so they reduced the budget by about $50,000, which takes our projected year-over-year tax increase down to from 0.9 to 0.77. So that's where we are today. Since then, the state has basically instructed the towns to count on a level funded local aid for fiscal year 21, which is, I think, pretty good news. They didn't say they're going to cut it, but they said just count on level funded. So they're still putting a revised budget together for fiscal year 21, but that's what their recommendation has been so far, or their advice to the town. We reduced that with the projected year-over-year increase by $150,000. So when it comes time to set the tax rate, maybe we put it back in. I'm not sure. We'll know more by then. But anyway, right now it doesn't look like the state believes we're going to have to. They're going to have to reduce local aid by a lot for fiscal year 21. All right. So that's really all I got besides approving all the minutes. We've got 5 sets of minutes to approve. 2 of them were joint meetings with the BOS, so they're pretty brief. And then just set the calendar for the next few meetings. Jim Haggerty does not need miraculously a reserve fund transfer. He's done his numbers and he's going to have $123 left in his budget for fiscal year 20. So he's all set. Apparently there was something that he spent that another budget should have picked up and they did. So once that happened, he does not need a reserve fund transfer. So we won't be doing that tonight. We'll do the other reserve fund transfers at our next meeting.
Kathy, do you want me to make a motion to approve the minutes?
Well, has everybody had a chance to look at them as much as I want to? So we got 5 sets.
I've looked at them enough.
I bet you have. I've read them. I think they look good. So I don't have any more comments to them.
Do you want me to make a motion then?
Well, let's give anybody else have any other changes, comments to the 5 sets of meetings? We got 521, 528, 62, 68, and 69, with 62 and 69 being the joint meetings with the BOS. So if we're all set, then let's get them approved.
All right, I move that we approve the minutes for May 21st, May 28th, June 2nd, June 8th, and June 9th.
Second?
Judy was muted, but I think
You
she.
need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, if I know how, I will.
Now do your second.
Second,
Okay, Judy Betts seconded. Okay, so I'll do a roll call. Let's see. So Judy,
Bud's eye.
Cook, aye. Andrew Dennington,
Aye.
Andrew Pfaff.
Aye.
Sorry, Tim, I skipped over you. Tim Martell
Aye.
and Mr. Rooney.
Aye.
All right, so 6-0. So yay, we're all cut up. So there's that. No reserve fund transfers. So all that's left is to talk about future meetings. So the process to wind up the fiscal year requires us to approve any requested reserve fund transfers and also any potential intra-department transfers. We don't know what they are yet. Brian Ballantyne's working on those. The Board of Selectmen have to also approve the interdepartmental transfers. We do the reserve fund solely. They do that one also, so they need 2 sets of approvals. They can't, it's got to be done by July 15th. They're going to meet July 14th. So they suggested that we have a quick joint meeting with them on the 14th to do the approval of the interdepartment transfers. So Brian Ballantyne only has to come to one meeting and explain what's doing. So I said, I'll check and see if that works. But then if we agreed that we're going to meet that night, then we'll go on and continue our meeting because we've got other things we've got to do. We've got to elect officers. We've got to do the reserve fund transfers, and then we need to plan on what we want to do for the next few meetings. So we'll have a substantive meeting after we get that part done. So my question is anyone not available to meet at, I assume it's 6:30 on July 14th.
July 14th?
Yep.
Right.
It's a Tuesday.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that will be our next meeting at 6:30. So we'll start at 6:30 with the BOS, get the piece out of the way that is joint, and then we'll go on. We'll go back to our separate meeting. So everybody have to pay attention about how to get back to the second one. You know, the first time we tried to do this, no one came back. So you have to pay attention to how to join the second meeting. All right. Okay, so now this is what I was going to propose. I'm trying to get off the BOS schedule so that if we need to do something joint with them, we can do it. So I was going to propose Wednesdays for the rest of July and August. So how does July 29th, August 12th, and August 26th work?
That works.
Right. It's very important that we do check with everybody because right now we've got 6. And if we end up with less than 6 with no appointments that are coming that I know about, we've got to have everybody here to have a quorum.
I'm sorry, Kathy, what were those 3 dates?
So Tim, they were July 29th, which should be a Wednesday, August 12th, and August 26th.
And what time?
I was going to ask you guys what really suits you. I know some of you have small children. So I was just going to say, you know, we could do it 5, we could do it 6, we could do it 7. Andrew, unmute yourself. Andrew Dennington.
What about 5:30, just like we did now?
5:30 is fine. Anybody object to 5:30? And these should not be crazy long meetings. You know, the problem with doing these meetings is when you're on vacation, you don't have that much of an excuse not to come to the meetings. So, even on vacation, you probably still do it. So, all right, so those are the 3 dates. If we have to change them, we will, but let's just count. Let's right now at least tentatively pin those in for 5:30 on those 3 dates. Okay. Let's see who's in the audience here. All right. Anybody have any other comments before I see if there's anyone in the audience that wants to say something?
The only thing is, Kathy, I haven't seen anything from Paul. I think Judy and my term expires on the 30th.
Yeah, and Judy does too, and he's well aware he needs to get your appointment papers, and I'll make sure you'll get
Okay.
them very soon so that, because he knows it's a problem. I said, Paul, we can't play around with this year, and we really got to get it done. So I will make sure he gets it done very soon. And I think you've got, I don't know how they're doing swearing ins right now. I don't know if they're doing those over Zoom.
We had the one for capital planning. They said as long as you're currently on the board, you don't have to get resworn in or something, I think.
Well, so then that should apply to us too.
I would think so, but
I would hope that they've done that. That makes sense, because it's kind of hard to get down there. Okay, so any comment from the public? All right, so not seeing anyone there. So quickest meeting ever. Motion to adjourn.
I move
Kathy,
we adjourn.
Go
so
ahead. Jim.
we'll do minutes for this and bring them to that 15th meeting or 14th meeting or something.
14th. Okay, so the 14th is a Tuesday. The rest of them are Wednesdays. Okay, so motion.
I'll second Judy's motion.
Okay, great. So roll call. Judy,
Bud's eye.
Cook, aye. Andrew Dennington,
Bennington, aye.
Mr. Martell,
Aye.
Mr. Pfaff,
Aye.
Mr. Rooney.
Aye.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
This was the best meeting ever.
I knew you would love it, Judy. Bye.
Keep it up.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.